right, welcome back, and we are here once again with Max, and today we are talking about endurance. And yes, it is raining because it is not a happy conversation. There's quite a bit to go over when we talk about endurance. It's more complicated than you think it would be, so let's go ahead and get started. And so first thing first, let's go ahead and talk about perks. And the big one is going to be solar power. Just like with strength, it gives a +2 to endurance between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So with all that in mind, we are starting with a 17 in endurance. I did already move the settlement object over. So we have the base 10, +1 for the bobblehead, 1 for the settlement object, 2 for solar powered, and 3 for scav issue number 5. Which, again, just like strength, it gives you a +3 to endurance, as long as you are broke. And we have 4 caps. So we get the full +3. Next thing we're going to talk about here is going to be outfits. Now, there are a number of outfits that give you +2. We have 3 examples here. We have the Children of Atom short rags. There's about 8 or 9 different Children of Atom outfits. I like this one. It gives you +2 endurance and an extra 25 to radiation resistance, and it takes ballistic weave. In fact, all 3 of these take ballistic weave. We also have the black vest and slacks, which gives you a +2 endurance. And last but not least, the submarine uniform, which gives you a +5 radiation resistance. So these are all, I wanted to display a few different options of outfits that give +2 to endurance. Now, all that said, there is one outfit, and exactly one, that gives you a +2 to endurance, and you can wear armor over top of it. However, it does not take the ballistic weave, so you do lose the ballistic weave if you wear this for endurance. There is also a hat, the Sea Captain's hat, which gives a +2 to endurance. And of course, we've got all the fortifying armor here. Now, there is a caveat here. Let's go ahead and take this stuff. Now, what are we at here? We're at 737. We're going to go ahead and put on the torn shirt and the Sea Captain's hat. That puts us up to 861. Now, watch what happens when we put this stuff on. 861. Our endurance went up, but our HP did not. Now, therein lies the rub when it comes to endurance. Because the only thing that really matters, there's only 2 things that matter when it comes to endurance. One is hit points, and the other is how many action points per second you consume while running. Now, the magic number for that is 21. If you have an endurance of 21 or higher, you do not consume any action points in running. You can run forever. So what we really care about, because we're going to vastly exceed that number. So the real question here is, how many hit points can we get? Because that's what matters for endurance, is the hit points. So let's take a closer look at that. First, let's look at consumables. Now, there are a number of different consumables here, and surprisingly, all of these stack. All of these items stack to increase your endurance. And in fact, Buff Tats and Psycho Buff? I just discovered today that these stack not just for endurance, but for strength as well. So we're going to have to update our leaderboard, because that's a +3 to strength that we did not include in our last video. I will put a note on the bottom of the strength video, just to let people know. So let's start at this end, okay? So like I said, we've got Bourbon. Bourbon gives a bonus to strength and endurance. And that bonus is doubled because we have Party Boy. Now, we have 3 food consumables here, and then we've got the food paste. We'll get to the food paste in a sec. The Queen Mirelurk meat and the Mirelurk Queen steak, you would think, do not stack. But they're different items, so they do. And again, the Queen Nukalurk meat and the grilled Queen Nukalurk, again, you would think the same thing. And the same thing again for the grilled hermit crab and the hermit crab meat. All 6 of these stack with each other. Now, the food paste you can acquire at the Suffolk County Middle School. And there are dispensers in there that can give you more. So this is a renewable resource. And it, along with all of these other items, are affected by the chemist perk in addition to your chems. So you can make a lot of this stuff last a really long time. Now, for chems, like I said, Buff Tats and Psycho Buff, these actually stack. So it's worth using both at the same time. And then, of course, once again, our old standby, Excel. which is rare but potent. So let's go ahead and pick all of these up, right? And let's see what we can do. Now, I don't know which of these buffs your hit points and which ones don't, so we're going to find out together. Our starting HP is 737. 799. 957. 988. I think we can probably go through all of those. Yeah, look at that. All right. Do that as well. Cycle buff. 1450. And Excel. Yeah, so we now have a 39 endurance from all that. And we have over almost 1550 HP, right? Okay, now that we've done all that, let's go ahead and see what other kind of stuff we can do to raise our hit points a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and put these on, because we know that these two items do increase your HP. Look at that. We're already almost to 1700. So there are perks that also increase our hit points. Now we know Life Giver gives you a total of 60 extra HP, plus a little bit of health regeneration. There is also Night Person 3, which gives you an extra 30 HP at night. But because at night solar powered wears off, it's kind of a wash. So since this is the big one that gives us HP, let's go ahead and give ourselves that. In addition to the consumables that give us increased endurance, there are 2 food items that directly increase HP. The Bloodbug Steak, which gives us an extra 15 HP, and the Tasty Deathclaw Omelet, which gives us an extra 50 HP. And that puts us just over 1960. And then, of course, there are a few other obscure things that can raise our health. Now, vodka raises... There's several alcohols that raise your HP. It raises by 25. It's doubled because I have the Party Boy perk. So let's take a look and see, because I already have bourbon, so I don't know if it'll stack. So we have 1966. And it did go up. So apparently bourbon does not give you a direct health bonus. Resilient Sludge, I went over this in the consumables from Far Harbor that I did for the Child of Adam build. This gives you an extra 75 HP. Yep, it went up. So, gotta be careful with that, though, because it does make you more vulnerable to radiation. We got Skeeto Spit. I've never even heard of this one before, but I was going through the wiki, and there is actually a recipe for this. I believe it's at the chem station. So, let's see what that does to us. We got 2091 Skeeto Spit. That puts us at 2116. All right. Now, I don't know if these are going to stack. Oh, I'm missing one. I need to get Nuka Void. All right, we got our Nuka Void here. So let's see if these stack. So if they do, this should go up 120 points. Should be 2236. 2256. Oh, that's right. One of them was plus 50. All right, so all of the which means the Nuka-Cola ice cold stack as well. So you could probably get up around 2400 hit points. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we got an ice cold Nuka-Cola Void here. We're at 2256. Let's see if it stacks. 2286. It does stack. All right. So that means if we were to get the other ones, it would give us an extra 110. So that means if we were to use the other one, it would give us extra 110. This would be at 2396. So just shy of 2400 for 8 minutes. But that still is an incredible amount of health to have on a single character. Now, it is unfortunate that we don't get bonuses from any of these for our health. But what that basically means is that this buff, for the purposes of health, now the strength bonus is different on this. Fortifying and unyielding are still good for the strength bonus, but you only get 2 things out of the health bonus. That is increasing the amount of time that you can run, which we don't need because we are so far. Look at this. We are sitting at a 43 endurance. We don't need any more endurance bonuses from our equipment. In fact, I mean, that's it. We can even take these off. And just, without bonuses from our equipment, we're sitting at a 39 endurance. So we don't need equipment bonuses at all to achieve a 21 endurance to have infinite running. And if you want to take it a step further, I've tested this. If you have strong back 3, you have infinite running even while encumbered. Meaning, carrying capacity is just no longer a thing for you. You can just carry as much as you want and run forever, and it doesn't matter. So the only thing that this really does for us is HP, and since this equipment does not give us any hit point bonus, for the endurance side of it, it's worthless. So the only thing that you would need unyielding for is a strength bonus. And if you're going for a strength bonus, you skip the fortifying, go to unyielding, get bonuses to everything that are way bigger than just a simple +1. Or for that matter, if you really want to max out your strength, you go with the rad powered and get like an extra 40 strength because you don't need the endurance from this equipment. It doesn't actually do anything. It's a ghost endurance. Now, alternatively, if you want to eschew all of the chems and all of the consumables, you can with just this equipment, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we had a 17. With just these 5 pieces, it doesn't even matter what you're wearing under the armor. You could wear military fatigues because you've got your 22 right there. That's already, you can run. And you don't need to worry about chems. You don't need to worry about alcohol. You don't need to worry about food buffs. You can just get your 21 and be done. But you're only going to have so-so hit points because this isn't going to give you anything from HP. But maybe you don't care about that because at this point, you're also rocking a 21 strength, which means if you've got a good melee weapon, you're crushing skulls anyway, so you don't really care about your hit points that much. You just care about mobility and smashing face. Okay, so the maximum endurance we were able to achieve was a 43, 44 with the Your Special book, and technically 49 if you add in the fortifying equipment. So that's what we're going to put. We're going to put a 49. On top of that, I'm also going to record the maximum HP that we were able to achieve, although this number is not quite accurate. It should probably be around 2420 because it does not include the HP that we would have gotten from that +1 from the Your Special book. So it would certainly be over 2400. It'd be probably around 2420, 2430, somewhere like that. We also need to update the chart here because since Buff Out and Buffed Hats stack, this is actually a 79, not a 76. There we go. All right, so that is the limits of endurance in a nutshell. Next week, we're going to be doing C, Charisma, one of my favorite ones. But for now, thanks for checking out my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.